Hi and welcome along to the next video in the sequence. This video is about some of the peripheral work that I had to do to make sure that the wet exhaust could exit the hull. So that's basically the penetration through the hull, all the glassing associated with that. And then also some work on the sail drive, because we couldn't get the anodes and the rope cutter to fit when we actually installed it in the hull. So it just shows the problems we had associated with that and how we solved it. Hope you enjoy it.
So this is the original fitting in the hull for the 60mm hose, and you can see some of the penetrations that we had to take the hoses through. All this had to be modified to get the wet exhaust through above the steering systems. We chose not to use a stainless steel fitting and went with a glass fibre system. So this is the hole cut through the hull, ready to take the glass fibre tube. This was the original fitting. You can see how thick the fiberglass is.
Been quite warm the last couple of days. Been very busy preparing for putting the through hull in the aft lazarette. So I'll show you what I've been up to. This is the exhaust piece that needs to go through the through hull. So it was two straight pieces, and I've been working on making the joint here. So I just pulled the pull ply on that, and that's looking pretty good, nice and strong. No problems with that. I've made up this little station to do some of the glassing. Show you what's in the lazarette, what I've been doing there. I cleared out all the stuff that was in there, so that I've got a bit of working space, and so I could have some room to work and keep all the dust away from the various bits of equipment I've got in there. So what we've done is we've removed the exhaust that came up here and attached to pipe here. I've prepped and taken off all the gussets, so there were three gussets around here. I replaced those at some point in the process, and I'll bond and tab the pipe and the various gussets to the hull as soon as I've got everything together and kind of the geometry set up. This is what came out of the hull. This is the basic through hull that was there before. You can see how thick the glass is on the boat. It's probably an inch of glass. I had to cut through that with the hole saw, and that was really difficult. Then I had to get a saber saw in there to cut the gussets, and then also to open the hole out so that I could actually get this piece out. So this is the outside of the boat with a big hole in it. Exhaust to come through there, and then we have to shave a little bit more off this just to for the chamfer, and then we'll glass it using a mix of chop matte, polyester vinyl resin, and then we'll build it up in layers over the top of that. So this is how I've set the vertical pipe up through the hull. Just made up a little template at the back there just to tie wrap it to the existing outlet for the generator, and then a couple of tie wraps to the other side of the plate where the new one's going in, and then we'll use a thickened polyester resin to go around there on the inside and the outside, and then we'll fillet that off, and then we'll do the tabbing after that. Today's job is working on the hull fitting for the exhaust. So this morning, last night in fact, I cut some gussets out of ply, and this morning I've just mixed up some thickened resin, and I've fitted all those round, smoothed them out so that they're ready for tabbing. And I've started cutting out sections of fiberglass matting to go around there to tab them up. I've got a little tabbing station here with various bits of roving and matting and peel ply. So we'll get 4 or 5 layers of the thicker roving on here, the thicker double bias matting on there to tab them up, and yeah, we'll finish the job off. So it's getting close to being finished. There's still the outside to do. There's a bit of work to do then, and then all the finishing off of that surface. But hopefully when this is tapped in and all gusseted up, it'll be strong enough to hold the exhaust, a lot larger exhaust, and the hull is probably about 1 inch thick in this through here. So I don't think the hull will be any problem, provided we get everything tied down to it. So yeah, looking good. It's a little bit cooler and a little bit windier today, so I've got the fan heater on in this lazarette. I'll close the lid on it, and it'll keep the heat in there just to make the glass fibre go off. I'll close this and put a piece of rope through it so it doesn't jam down on the cable. So jobs continue even though there's a lot of work going on the glassing. So I'm busy working the final few pipes are still to go on the engine. So completed the first layers of tabbing. Reasonably happy with it. There's a little bit here where there was air getting in and I couldn't get the matting down tight enough, so I'll have to grind that and put some more over the top of there. And then I'm probably going to put another couple of layers just on the joint line, just to strengthen everything up and tidy everything up, and then job will be done. I did cut off the piece of pipe that's going out the hull the other side, so I've shaved that off. Just proud of where I want it at the moment. Quite a busy day today. It's quite windy outside, not a very nice day. So I've been working on tabbing the exhausts exit from the hull. So I've got the gussets on there. It's had 3 layers in fact of glass fibre, and it's feeling pretty solid. Also managed to get a little bit of the surface prepped and hollowed out the area where the pipe actually exits the hull. So I've been able to basically grind that back a little bit so that the end of the pipe is actually below the surface. Now I've got 1 layer of gel coat on though. Even though it's quite cold today, I'm hoping that that's going to go off okay. And then on the inside, as I said, I put another layer on there, so that's all been going pretty well.
Final hull fitting had about 8 or 9 layers of the biaxial fabric, and probably 4 or 5 on the outside of the hull as well, before the final layers of gel coat went on.
Better than probably expected. Actually, it's yeah, fitted in okay, so happy with that. Well, you can hear the wind howling outside. It's probably blowing 25, gusting 30. So I'm doing some indoor jobs. I've been working on this tabbing for the oh, you can also hear the wind generator as well, which is rattling away. So I'm pulling the final length of pipe that I have to get through to get to the exhaust exit, and I'm giving it a test while I'm doing it. So having done all the glassing around here, I've been pulling the pipe against it, and quite successfully, so it seems to be pretty solid. So I've just punched a couple of holes through here, got a little come along cargo strap, and I'm just pulling it through the last 2 holes to get it into this point, and then I'll put the 180-degree bend in here.
So this is the exhaust pipe, just about the position it needs to be to fit the 180-degree bend. So this is the hull fitting gel coated, and then I did some grey paint over that in the end to finish it off. Here you can see the 180-degree bend that forms the swan neck at the back there, fitted into position, and then I made some supports up for that in the end to stabilise it. See where it goes through the hull bulkhead. I still had to finish off the sail drive which we fitted earlier. As you can see, it was a bit cold the days I had a look at this job, but we were trying to fit the anode which goes around this shaft, and when I came to fit it I discovered that it wouldn't fit. The Volvo Penta 150 drive isn't the same as the original 130 drive, and you need a special anode to fit that, so I had to send off for that and some modified cutter.
This is the original blade cutter, the front blade. You can see how long this nib is, and the new one we bought, is much shorter. So when it engages in the hole in here, we've actually been given a bolt with a little hole in it, drilled in it, and that replaces the original bolt which had no hole in it at all, as it is with the bottom. And so then the anode also has to change. So there's a hole been drilled here, section milled out here, and this is actually further in than the standard ones. So there's a standard one, and I've drilled a hole in here, but yeah, I guess you could grind this out, but then you've also got to machine out some of this. You can see how thick it is. It's probably half an inch thick, 12 mil, and this one is probably only about 3 or 4 mil. So the new blade fits on here like so, and you can see how it then goes into that little slot, fits in there, and then when the hub of the sail drive goes on, there are two little nibs in the back of here, you can see, which just fit in where these Allen screws are. Can you see that? Like so. And then you build the rest of the prop up, and everything should go well. So this one will turn with the prop, so this one turns with the prop and snips any rope that gets caught in there. So just line it up again, and that's how it fits. So we're going to clean the prop, put them back together, and underneath here put a new gasket on. I've sealed it with Sikaflex rather than what they advise, which is an impact adhesive. So this is just Sikaflex. So that's us reached a stage where we have the engine installed, we've got the wet exhaust piping installed and the skin fitting finished, the sail drives all together with prop and anode and rope cutter. What is left for us to do now is to install the generator behind the main engine and hook that up. So that'll be in the next video.